بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أزواجه وذرياته وأهل بيته وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وعلما نافعا ورزقا واسعا طيبا. آمين يا رب العالمين. A little review. فيما سبق ذكرنا الفعل الماضي. Whatever we had discussed in the past was the past tense. We learned that أن الماضي يتكون من المصدر, that the fi'l ماضي, that the past tense is constructed from the masdar, the root word. How? احذف التنوين من المصدر. Drop the tanween from the masdar, from the end of the masdar. ثم اجعل الفتحة على الفاء والعين واللام. Then put a fatha on the three letters, the fa, the ain, and the lam. And this is usually the case. هذا أكثر. وقد ترفع العين وقد تجر. And sometimes the ain kalima is given a kasra and sometimes it's given a dhamma. So fa'ala, all three with fathas. Shariba with the ain kalima having a kasra, and karuma with the ain kalima having a dhamma. Then we learned 5 different types of madi. We learned 5 different types of past tense. Al-madi mutlaq, the general madi. The most common, it doesn't have any condition to it. It's just past. It could be recent, could be distant past. And then we learned al-madi al-qareeb, the recent past. And we learned al-madi al-ba'id, the distant past. Al-madi al-ihtimali, the what was that? The doubtful past. It is also called madi al-shakki, the doubtful past. And then we learned al-madi al-tamannai, the desirous past. Alright, something to be desired in the past, you use the word laytama. So we learned 5. There's one more that we will learn soon. It's called madi al-madi al-istimrari, which means the continuous past. So something that somebody would do continuously in the past, there's a special way of saying that. So madi mutlaq, you don't add anything to the verb itself. Madi qareeb, you would add a qad to it. Madi ba'id, you add a kana to it. Madi ihtimali, you would add a la'allama in the beginning of it. And al-madi at-tamannai, the desirous past, you would add a laytama in the beginning of it. This has all been mentioned before in detail. Also, when you want to make a negative, you want to negate the past tense, you put a ma in the beginning of it. And then also the active, ma'ruf, and also the majhul, the passive tense. It's all been recorded, it's all been mentioned in detail. We can keep going back to the recordings and revising it and making it, strengthening it and reinforcing it. You can go to our website, kingfahadmas.org, and you will find all the classes. And even the class that we missed, the first class that we did not record, now it's recorded. It's called the introductory class. That's even online. Or you can just go on YouTube, and if you type in my name, then you will also get all the classes. So please do revise over and over again. and learn it and then teach it to others. Teach it to somebody. Teach it to your children. All right, now let's learn the present tense. In Arabic, the present and future tense is called al-fi'l al-mudari'. I've written it there in the red, al-fi'l al-mudari'. This is also called the imperfect tense. Why? Because the action has not been completed yet. It is still being performed, or it's going to be performed. Unlike the past tense, also called the perfect tense, because the action of the verb has already been completed. Like shariba, shariba, he drank. So action of drinking is done, it's completed. But the imperfect, yashrabu, he is drinking. So the action is still continuing. Or he's going to drink, so the action is not completed. So we will call it also the imperfect. But we want to know the Arabic term, al-fi'l al-mudari'. Alright? Yadhaku. Okay, let's mention these words a little bit. Okay. So this is the first wahid mudhakkar ghaib of al-fi'l al-mudari'. Yadhaku, he is laughing. From the word dhik. The root letters, dad, ha, and kaf. Nahmadu, we say that a lot. Nahmadu wa nusalli. So, we are praising. Tatbakhu, ta, ba, and kha. You are cooking. So, inshallah, we will explain now how this is made. How do you construct al-fi'l al-mudari'? Okay? وَإِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تُكَوِّنَ صِيَغَ الْمُضَارِعِ. If you want to form the words of the present or future tense, فَآتِ عَلَامَةً من علامات المضارع في بداية الفعل الماضي. Then bring one of the signs of fi'l mudari to the beginning of fi'l madi. Warfa akhirahu, and put a dhamma at the end of it, and then you will have fi'l mudari. So, what does that mean? Okay, so I said that this is fi'l madi, the first word. Remember the wahid mudhakkar ghaib, fataha? It was made from the masdar. So what did we do to make fi'l madi? We took away the tanween, because tanween, the two dhammas, whenever tanween comes on a word, that means it's a noun. Alright, it's one of the signs of being a noun. So now you want to make it a verb, so you're going to take that away. And then what do we say? We're going to put a fatha on the first letter, fatha on the second letter, and a fatha on the third letter. The first letter is called the fa kalima, the second letter is called the ain kalima, and the last letter is called the lam kalima. So you put fathas on that. So now from the masdar you got fi'l madi fataha. How do you make fi'l mudari? You make fi'l mudari from the madi. Alright, you don't make it from the masdar, you make it from the madi itself. So what do you do to madi to make fi'l mudari? What do you do to the past tense to make the present tense? Then it's saying that you're going to bring one of the letters of fi'l mudari. One of the letters of fi'l mudari. There are 4 letters of fi'l mudari. Alif, ta, ya, and noon. The majmu'ah of it is atayna. So atayna, you're going to put one of these letters in the beginning of fi'l madi, the past tense, to make the fi'l al-mudari. That's how you make the present or future tense.
What's the rule? Any word can be used?
Any word. Any verb. Any verb. If it's a verb and you want to make the present tense or future tense, then you're going to put one of these we're gonna go through a lot of examples, so it's gonna get easier and easier, inshallah. So you can see that the root letters are there, right? You can see, and even in this, you can see the root letters are here. The fa is there, the ta is there, the ha is there. You just added a ya. Sometimes you're going to add a ya. Sometimes you're going to add a alif. Sometimes you're going to add a noon. And sometimes you're going to add a ta. One of these four, either a ya, alif, ta, or noon. So this is it, alif, ta, ya, or noon. One of these letters you're going to add in the beginning of fi'l madhi, and it's going to make...
So is there any condition to add which one at which time? Like
yeah, now I'm going to explain which one we have to add where to make what, either a wahid, or a tasniya, or a jama, a singular, a dual, or a plural, or a feminine, or a masculine, second person, third person, first person. We're going to go through all the rules, inshallah. And it's going to seem very easy. Only thing to note is sometimes, remember that the ayn kalima sometimes had a kasra? Remember that? Sometimes it was fa'ila, sometimes it was fa'ala, and sometimes it was fa'ula. Meaning the ayn kalima was sometimes shariba, so it had a kasra. Sometimes it had a dhamma, karuma. In the same way, the ayn kalima in mudari' is going to be having three signs. Sometimes it's going to have a fatha, yaftahu. Sometimes it's going to have a dhamma, yansuru. And sometimes it's going to have a kasra, yadribu. Alright? We will go into that. In the pages that I've given you, we're going to see many of those words, and it's going to become easier, inshallah. Alright, so now let's go to the diagram itself. Alright, so to make a wahid mudhakkar ghaib, to make the third person masculine and the singular, you have to put a ya in the beginning of it. Alright, so when you put a ya, remember the fa had a fatha, right?
Yeah.
That's something caught in my throat. Alright, so remember the fa had a fatha, so what we're going to do is for all of them now, since we're putting a ya with the fatha on it, or a ta with the fatha on it, or a noon with the fatha on it, so all the fa kalima is going to be sakin from now on. Alright?
Is that okay?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, I coughed in it.
Oh.
But it's kind of loud.
Yeah. You want me to lower it later?
A little bit. Some water. Maybe All right. So you put a ya in the beginning of it to make it wahid mudhakkar ghaib. Okay, so yaf'alu. So what was the rule? That you drop the fatha and you bring a ya with the fatha on it and you join it with the first one, so yaf, and then you put a dhamma on the lam kalima.
Yeah.
Alright? So this is how to make the wahid mudhakkar ghaib of fi'l mudari. Yaf'alu means that one man is doing or is going to do. If you say yansuru, or let's say yaftahu, yaftahu means that one man is opening or is going to open. Now what do we do to put, to make it tathniya? You're going to put an alif and a noon at the end. Alright? If everybody can see this page of theirs. It says 51 on it. So if we see this page, in the beginning, you put a ya, and you see it says prefix, put a ya, and the suffix, you're just going to put a dhamma. On the second one, the prefix, you're going to put a ya, and then the suffix, you're going to put a alif and with a noon kasra. Yaf'alani. Okay? Now it's good. Alright, and then to make it jama, you're going to put a ya with the waw noon at the end. Yaf'aluna. Alright? So yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna. That one man is doing, those two men are doing, all those men are doing. So if it was yaftahu, that one man is opening the door, those two men are opening the door, all those men are opening the door. Taf'alu, that one woman is opening the, that one woman is doing. Taf'alani, those two women are doing. And yaf'alna, all those ladies are doing. So for this, you bring a noon with a fatha at the end, and the last, the lam kalima, it becomes sakin. So whatever the prefixes are and whatever the suffixes are, it's all written over here, so you know what to add to the three root letters to make it wahid or tathniya or jama. Taf'alu, you one man are doing. Taf'alani, you two men are doing. Taf'aluna, all you men are doing. Taf'alina, you one lady is doing. Taf'alani, you two ladies are doing. And yaf'alna,
Astaghfirullah.
my bad. Good one. Taf'alna. Alright, taf'alna, all you ladies are doing. Af'alu, I am doing. Naf'alu, we are all doing. So now this makes sense. Nahmadu, we are all praising. Nahmadullah, we are all praising Allah. Tatbahu, it could either be this one, you, one man are cooking, and it could either be this one, taf'alu, same wazn as that one, tatbahu, that one lady is cooking. So the question would be, how would you know if it is, it's this one or it's this one? So you will know with the context. When you're reading whatever you're reading, you'll know by the context if it's talking about one lady, ghaib, or hadir. And if you are talking to someone, of course you will be using this word if you're talking to somebody who is a male, and this word if you are talking to somebody who is a lady. Alright? So, from this page we will know what to add at the end and what to add in the beginning. In Maldi, we didn't add anything in the beginning. We only added at the end. So fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. Over here in Mudari', you're going to add these four letters, one of these four letters, and noon will only come for mutakallim, when we are doing something. Alif will only come for I am saying something. So, akhluqu, I created. What else comes in the Quran? Aqra'u, I am reading, I am reciting. Af'alu, I am doing. So this, with the alif, it's only going to be I. Okay?
Sure.
With the noon, it's only going to be we. But now with the other ones, the ya and the ta, it comes for all different ones. The ya comes how many times? 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. These are the 4 that the ya comes in. All the rest in the beginning are ta. Okay? Taf'aluna, tasma'una.
Is any rules is going by, or is render?
This is the rule. This is the rule. This is what you have to put to make it that meaning. Inshallah, it'll get more easier as we you know, get more examples in front of you. Yes, sir.
So, for both wahid and for plural, dual, for you, it is going to be the same for feminine and
Yeah,
masculine?
exactly.
Not only that, but for dual also it's the same?
Yeah. These three are exactly the same. They're going to come in the Quran sometimes. The dual feminine, third person, the dual masculine and feminine, second person, they're exactly the same. And you will see them many times in the Quran and in the Hadith. But according to the context, you will figure it out. It's good. It's good to figure it out.
The other thing I'm noticing is that, you know, for the feminine diet, it starts with ta, whereas the masculine starts with ya.
Yeah, exactly.
Except in the plural, it
Except in-
starts with ya.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
that's an exception.
That's an exception also.
Otherwise, everything else.
Everything is the same, exactly. This comes in the Quran also. It comes, and we will mention it now, inshallah. I'll give examples from the Quran, so it'll become more easier. All right. Now I put the word fa'ala. This is the main word that we're supposed to, know by heart. So, for example, if it was fataha, fatahu, we did the madi, and now mudari'. يفتحوا يفتحان يفتحون تفتحوا تفتحان يفتحن تفتحوا تفتحان تفتحون تفتحين تفتحان تفتحن أفتحوا نفتح. By now you guys should all know it. I'm not going to write it. I might change it after a little while. Just going to, look how good the writing is and the colors are. Now I got a orange color and a brown. So it made it more colorful. So we'll change it in a little bit, inshallah. All right. Yasma'u. What does the word sami'a mean? Sami'a.
To listen.
To listen. All right, to hear. So sami'a yasma'u. So yasma'u, yasma'ani, yasma'una, tasma'u, tasma'ani, yasma'na, tasma'u, tasma'ani, tasma'una, tasma'ina, tasma'ani, tasma'na, asma'u, nasma'u. Just so that you might think that I am cheating and looking, I said everything else okay. All right, give me any word. All right, so it means to hear. Let's go through this one a little bit. Yasma'u, that one man, or let me change it. All right, let's make it brown. Brown looks pretty good on the board too. All right, so yasma'u. Yasma'u. That one man is hearing. Yasma'u kalam Allah. He is listening to the kalam of Allah. He is listening to the words of Allah. Yasma'u. Yasma'ani. Yasma'una. So you see the sin, mim and ayn are going to go in the places where the fa, ayn and lam kalima is. Tasma'u, tasma'ani, yasma'na. Tasma'u, tasma'ani, tasma'una, tasma'ina, tasma'ani, tasma'na, asma'u, nasma'u. I am hearing, and we all are hearing. Now, like I said, it's present and future. So I am going to hear. We're all going to hear. All right. Now let's take out this page that I gave you. This page number 52. All right. On page 52, there are three words. Yadhabu, he goes. Yarka'u, he bows. And yaftahu, he opens. All right. So I'm going to, with your help, put them in there. You can also write while I'm writing on that piece of paper. Okay. Let's do red. Alright, which one do you want to do? Yaftahu, he opens. Yarka'u, he prostrates or he bows. Raka'a, ruku', or yadhabu. Alright, let's do yadhabu, okay? He goes. He's going. Or he's going to go. Alright, so let's put it right here. Yadhabu, that one man is going. Alright, what's going to come over here? Let's get somebody from the second row.
Yes.
Okay, so in the beginning we're going to bring a ya. What are we going to bring at the end? Alif and a noon, right? So you can keep looking at this paper. You see there's an ani at the end, okay? Una at the end. So you can see what to add. So yadhabani. Those two men are going or are going to go. All those men. Alright, we got a ba. Now what are we going to put at the end? This is a ba.
Yadhabun.
So, what's the two letters? Wow and then noon. Yadhabuna. Alright, yadhabuna. Yadhabu, yadhabani, yadhabuna. Now this mu'annas, so you're going to bring a ta. So, in the beginning there's a ta, and then the three root letters, the, ha, and ba. And then what we're going to do? Are we going to put anything after this? After the ba?
No.
Maybe?
Dhamma.
Only a dhamma. Good. So dhamma goes. So remember the Maldi was a fatha. So what did we do when we come to the mudari'? You just change the ending, the last letter, to a rafa or a dhamma. Tadhabu. Alright, so this one, we're adding a ta in the beginning. And then, what are we adding after the ba? Two letters. Alif, okay, good. And a noon kasra. Alright, tadhabani. And then this one has a ya. Let me put it a little bit to the side. I'm leaving some room here so I can add stuff. Alright. Yadhabu, yadhabani, yadhabuna, tadhabu, tadhabani, yadhabna, tadhabu. Tadhabani. What's going to go over here?
Yes.
All you men are going.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Buna. Tadhabu, tadhabani, tadhabuna, tadhabina. Again tadhabani. So we got three tadhabanis. So it's, at least this is easy to remember. All the same. And then yad tadhabna. And then what did I say? This the three root letters. What do you give to the mutakallim in mudari? What's the letter you give? What's the prefix?
Alif.
Alif. Good. So it's going to become what? Af'alu?
Azhabu.
Adhabu. And then what do you give to make it jama mutakallim?
Nafa.
Noon. All right. We are going to drink. We are going to drink. Who can tell me what I'm going to do?
نشرب
Nashrabu. I am going to drink. Ashrabu. All right. I am going to make ruku'. I am going to make ruku'. I'm going to bow. So the letters are here in the second column.
أركع
Arka. All right. I'm going to make a rak'ah. Arka'u rak'atayn. I'm going to make 2 rak'ah. Arka'u rak'atayn. I'm going to make 2 rak'ahs. Salah. Narka'u. Narka'u rak'atayn. Let's make 2. So we're going to make 2 rak'ah. Okay. Let's say the last word is yaftahu. So how are we going to say you, one lady, is going to open? You, one lady, is going to open the door?
تفضل
You, one lady. So one and you.
تفتحين
Taftahina. Good job. Taftahina. Taftahina. Doesn't look so strong yet. Let me get more examples. All right, let's take with yadhabu, and let's say all those men are going to leave. All those men are going to leave. So we're going to go jama because those men, and then those men instead of you men. So
يذهبون
yadhabuna is here. All those men are going to leave. Yadhabuna. All right. Okay. You 2 ladies are going to leave. You 2 ladies are going to leave. You.
Yes.
Ya is not right. Good. Ya does not come for. In tasniya, the ya only comes for 2 males, but then this and this is for females, right? So you 2 ladies, tadhabani. So it's all the 3. So if I say those 2 ladies are going to leave, tadhabani. You 2 men are going to leave, tadhabani. You 2 ladies are going to leave, tadhabani. It's all the same. Okay? That 1 lady is going to leave, tadhabu. You 1 man are going to leave, tadhabu. Tadhabu is same. So these 2 and these 3 are going to be the same. All right, I think we got a little bit of it. We're going to do 1 more word. Let's break something. All right? Let's break it down. So much more to do, but I don't want to go too fast. All right, so we're going to open the next page, or get out the next page, page 53. So 53, this page has, remember I said that sometimes the ayn kalima will have a dhamma, sometimes the ayn kalima will have a fatha, and sometimes it's going to have a kasra. So we're going to see the 4 words here. Yaksiru, he is breaking. Ya'rifu, he knows. Yakdhibu, he is lying. And yasbiru, he is patient. So let's break something. All right? Yaksiru. So it has a kasra. So instead of saying yaksaru like yaf'alu, it's going to be yaf'ilu. Yaksiru, yaksirani. Yaksiruna. All right, so what does this mean? Let's have this one. What does this yaksirani mean?
Is to
That's all.
Two men breaking.
You two men
Breaking.
are breaking, okay? Or you two men, not you two men, those two men. Those two men are breaking it, all right? Next one, يعرف, يعرف, to know. So this will be تعرف. That one lady knows. She knows what you're up to. All right. تعرفاني. Those two ladies know. And then all those ladies. Because they try to find out, you know. So they know everything. يعرفنا. Okay? تعرف تعرفاني يعرفنا. Next word, يكذب. So, you one man lied. That's why they know now. تكذب. تكذبان. And تكذبون. And the last word is yasbir. Alright, so yes. So what will be mu'annas hazir over here for sabr? You, one lady, is being patient. You are being patient. You're talking to somebody. Das? What's going to be here? Look at the word. What's the ending? That is right, but what the ending is? What's the two letters? Ya and a noon. Alright, so what is going to be? Tasbirina. Tasbirina. So if you're going to tell somebody, some lady, that she is being patient, tasbirina. You're going to be patient. And then, because somebody's lying, so she has to be patient, right? Because she knows. Tasbirani. Allah save us from lying. In the hadith it comes when somebody lies, the angels run away. Because when a person lies, a bad smell comes out of his mouth that only the angels can smell. So they run away. In the unseen world, a lot of things happen when we do something wrong. Alright, tasbirani. And then tasbirna. Tasbirina, tasbirani, tasbirna. I am going to be patient. Asbiru, and we're all going to be patient. We'll be patient. All right. Now, I'm going to go a little fast over here. I'm going to jump to negative. Manfi. Okay? How do you make manfi? So it's very easy. When you wanted to make the Maldi negative, you put a ma at the beginning. And over there I told you, somebody said la, so I said la comes from mudari. Yeah. So, that one man, la yaksiru, he is not breaking. Or he's not going to break. Those two men are not going to break. All those men are not going to break. That one lady is not going to break. You, one man is not going to break. You, one lady is not going to break. Oh wait, now we're at the suburb. I will not be patient. I will not be patient if you're going to lie. That's it. We're done. لا تكذبوا. You, one man, are not going to lie. لا تعرفوا. That one lady is not going to know. So if you lie, she's not going to know. Okay. So just put a la on them and then it becomes negative. Okay? Easy as that.
So all of them get la.
They have la. Sometimes ma comes. So unlike Maldi, that you use ma and la only comes when you're going to double the word for neither nor. But in Mudari you can use la and you can also use ma. But la is according to the rules. Okay, so let's go ahead. I also gave you a page, it's page 55. And page 55 has the ayn kalima as a dhamma. So sometimes the ayn kalima is going to have a fatha, yaf'alu, yaftahu, sometimes a kasra, like ya'rifu, yaksiru, yakribu, yasbiru, and sometimes it's going to have a dhamma on the ayn, yansuru, yaktubu, yadkhulu, and yasjudu. Any questions? Before I move ahead, if there's any questions? No questions? It's very simple, huh? Alright, let's take some examples from the Quran. So we can, I'm going to go to the last surahs. Hopefully we've memorized those so it becomes a little bit easier. Alright, Surah Humaza. Surah Humaza is the 104th surah? 104th surah. So it's one of the last surahs, only 9 ayat in this surah. So, وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ الَّذِي جَمَعَ مَالًا وَعَدَّدَهُ. Jama'a is Maldi. Alright, that one man gathered. Jama'a, gathered. Third sentence, third ayah has a mudari in it. Who can tell me what it is? يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْلَدَهُ. Malahu, right? Akhlada, right? Alright, yahsabu, good. Yahsabu, he thinks that his wealth will make him last forever. Yahsabu, to think. Alright? To have a perception. Yahsabu. Alright. Next surah.
Is akhlaq also?
Akhlada is not mudari, it's actually Maldi. It's bab if'al. Akhlada. Bab if'al. We'll get to that. Probably end of the book. We'll get to that word. Okay, Suratul Zilzal. Suratul Zilzal is surah number 99. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها. زلزلت was فعل ماضي and it had 4 root letters. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها. Now this next sentence has it. يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم. So where is the fi'l al-mudari' in this word? يومئذ?
Yes.
Alright. Can everybody see it now? Yasduru. Yasduru. Yawmaidin means that day. Whenever the word Yawmaidin comes in the Quran, usually it's talking about that day. And that day is a very horrific day. May Allah protect us, save us, and make us successful on that day. We are only living in this life to make that day good. And once we pass that day, then we're going to have a good time. All right, so Yawmaidin, that day, Yasdurun Nasu. All right, mankind will proceed. You know, it's from the word masdar, to come out. So they will proceed, they will come out. The men will come out. Ashtata, they will come out in groups. So yasduru is fi'l al-mudari, and it's wahid mudhakkar ghaib. Okay? So it's the first one, yes. And it has a dhamma on the ain kalima. Yasduru. So there was yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu. Yes, sir.
Tuhadithu is not.
That yawmaidin tuhaddithu akhbaraha. This is also a mudari', but there's two dals in it. Tuhaddithu. So this is a different type of mudari' that we will talk about when we get to it. It's from a different bab. It's called bab at-taf'il. Inshallah, towards the end of this book, we're going to mention that. Right now, we're only taking the simple mudari', which has no shadda in it, no doubling in it. So in this word, tuhaddith, the dal is doubled. So that changes it a little bit. But the next sentence, فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. Well, even this one, there's a little difference. All right, we'll go to Suratul Allah, and this will be our last example. Suratul Allah is the 87th surah of the Quran. I was going through the Quran today and looking up these things, so that these amazing students can have an easy time. All right. I won't read the whole thing. It's ayah number 7. Wait. Suratul Allah. إِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْجَهْرَ وَمَا يَخْفَى. Is this in Surah Allah or is it somewhere else?
Yeah.
I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ إِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْجَهْرَ وَمَا يَخْفَى. So He knows, Allah knows, He knows what is apparent, يَعْلَمُ الْجَهْرَ, what is apparent, وَمَا يَخْفَى, and what is hidden. So whatever is apparent, Allah knows. So Allah knows. Okay? So this is also al-fi'l al-mudari.
So the last word, though, I don't see how that's conjugated.
Ya'lamu, that one?
No.
Oh, yakhfa.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that one. We're talking about the one before it. Ya'lamu, innahu ya'lamu. So it's from alima. So ilm, ayn, lam, and mim.
That I got.
You got that. Yakhfa is, remember I told you that when in a word there's a waw or a ya, it becomes diseased, because one of these words, it changes it. So it was actually yakhfayu, but because the ya, the dhamma on it becomes heavy on the tongue, so they made it yakhfa. Inshallah, when we get to that, long ways to go to understand that, but inshallah we'll explain that. Right now, ya'lamu is a simple word, we can understand that. Alright, we can move ahead. One more thing I'll explain, and then, so now we know fi'l mudari' muthbat, which means positive, or manfi, which means negative, okay? Now, let's keep with this word to break. and we're going to do a majhul. Can anybody tell me what majhul means? Because we learned fi'l maldi ma'roof, and then we learned fi'l maldi majhul. What does majhul mean? When the fa'il is unknown, when the doer of the verb is unknown. Alright, so the example was ضرب زيد, Zayd hit. ضرب عمر, Amr was hit. So the fa'il or the doer of the action is not mentioned or not indicated, that becomes al-majhul. So how do you make fi'l mudari majhul? Alright, we're going to learn that now. So let's make the meaning of this. If this was ma'roof, then that one man is breaking. Those two men are breaking. All those men are breaking. And then if it's majhul, that one man is being broke. Alright? It doesn't have to be a man. It could be anything. That door is being broke. So let's say door. Okay? Ba. That one door is being broke. Those two doors are being broke. All those doors are being broke. Alright? So what will you do to make it majhul? For the Maldi, we put a dhamma on the fa kalima and a kasra on the ain kalima and left the lam kalima the way it was, so it became fu'ila. Fu'ila or futiha, so it became majhul. So what will we do to the yaftahu? So the qaida is, the rule is that you're going to change the fatha to a dhamma, and then the ain kalima will become a fatha. So for example, in this one it was already a fatha, so yuftahu. But in this one it's yansuru, so you change the alamatul mudari' to a dhamma. You know, one of these letters, atayna, whatever comes in the beginning, you change that to a dhamma, and the ain kalima you will put a fatha. So yunsaru, yuftahu, yudhaku, nuhmadu, tutbakhu. Let's see, I was broken. Uksaru, so you put a dhamma on the alamatul mudari'. So this is going to become yuk. And it was yuksiru, so this becomes a fatha, and this becomes a fatha. Yuksarani and yuksaru. So there's two things you're changing. You're putting a dhamma on the alamatul mudari', the sign of mudari', and you're putting a fatha on the ain kalima. Okay? I think I've given you something that has that. Okay, I've given you this page. Did I give you this page? 66, yeah. I gave you 66. So the 66 is yuftahu. He is being, or it is being opened. Yu'malu, it is being worked. Yunqalu, it is being transmitted. Naqal, intiqal, to move from one place to another. Yubhathu, it is being searched, or he is being searched. Yubhathu. Alright? So you put a dhamma on the first letter, which is not the letters of the verb itself, not the root letters. It is one of the alamatul mudari', or the sign of mudari'. So one of these letters, whatever they are, you're going to put a dhamma on it, and then on the ain kalima you're going to put a fatha. Sometimes it already has a fatha, like fa'ala yaf'alu fatha yaftahu, and sometimes it's going to have a kasra, or sometimes it's going to have a dhamma. Yansuru becomes yunsar. So let's do the first one. Yuftahu, yuftahani, yuftahuna, tuftahu, tuftahani, yuftahna, tuftahu, tuftahani, tuftahuna, tuftahina, tuftahani, uftahu, tuftahna, uftahu, nuftahu. Let me put that on the board, make it a little easier to understand. So I'll write the first one, and we can write the first one in there, and then you guys can fill in the rest of the 3 columns. All right, so yuf. So the alamatul mudari has a dhamma and the ain kalima has a fatha. Yuftahu. That one man was opened, or that one thing was opened. Unlike fi'l Maldi, we mentioned first the first ma'ruf, and then we spent a whole day on, majhul, and then we spent days on making it negative. So now I'm giving you all of mudari in one lesson. So if we can't figure it out, you can please go back on the video and you can see it over and over again. What's going to be here? Yuftahuna. Good. All right. Tuftahu.
Alif there, between the waw and noon.
No. Alif over here?
Yeah.
No. 2 seconds can never meet in Arabic.
Oh, yeah.
Yuftahuna. Tuftahu.
What did you say? Who can never meet?
2 seconds.
A second.
One has to drop. That's, inshallah, we'll learn that soon too. Tuftahu. Yuftahani. Yuftahna. Tuftahu. Yuftahani.
Tuftahun.
Yuftahani. Tuftahina. Tuftahani. Tuftahna. And then I. Who can tell me? Uftahu. I'm not saying that. I was opened. And then all of us. Oh. All right. So this is the passive of mudari', present and future. Last thing before we finish is see, this is present and future, right? Present and future. So what if we wanted to make it just future? We want to make it specifically future tense. Can we do something to make it specifically future and not present? There is something we can do. Who can tell me?
Do you have the scene somewhere?
Yeah, mashallah. So we have somebody who knows something. Yes, sir. So,
remembers.
oh, vaguely remember. All right. So we're going to come back to the book that we started. Remember, there was a book that we started, and then it's going to be on there. So I hope all of us have a copy of that book. What was the name of the book? I even forgot that. It's called Fundamentals of Classical Arabic. So we should all have this book. And in this book, you can if you bought it online, very good. Or it's also you can download it and it has, but I would buy it, okay? So if we look at table 4.2, you know, it's on page 26. So it has the active voice, يفعل يفعلان يفعلون تفعل تفعلان يفعلن تفعل تفعلان تفعلون تفعلين تفعلان تفعلن أفعل نفعل. Then it has the passive, يفعل يفعلان يفعلون تفعل تفعلان يفعلن تفعل تفعلان تفعلون تفعلين تفعلان تفعلن أفعل نفعل. Then it has the negative with both of them, لا يفعل and لا يفعل. So this is page 26. And on page 25, it's showing you what you have to, the prefix, what you have to join in the beginning of the root letters, and then the suffix, what you have to join at the end of the root letters to make it mudari. So it's very clear in this. Alright, so what I was explaining in the beginning was what we have to do to make it exclusively for mustaqbil, or exclusively for the future tense. In order to make al-fi'l mudari specifically for the future tense, the particles seen or sofa are added to the beginning. Seen or sofa are added to the beginning. So if you look in the book that we started, if you look at page 27, you know, all of us have the book. So it says, سَيَفْعَلُ سَيَفْعَلَانِ سَيَفْعَلُونَ سَتَفْعَلُ سَتَفْعَلَانِ سَيَفْعَلْنَ سَتَفْعَلُ سَتَفْعَلَانِ سَتَفْعَلُونَ سَتَفْعَلِينَ سَتَفْعَلَانِ سَيَفْعَلْنَ سَأَفْعَلُ سَنَفْعَلُ. So you can put a scene in the beginning. Alright, so let me make this with a scene, and then with the sofa. There's two ways to do it. Either putting a scene. So if I say sa yaftahu, sa yaftahu. Sayaftahu means that one man is going to open. Alright? Sayaftahu. And then if you put a sofa, it becomes, so one is distant future and one is near future. So with the scene, it becomes near future. Alright? So he's going to open soon. And if it was sofa, Sawfa yaftahu, it's distant. He's going to open. Alright? Make it smaller. Inshallah, I'll go over this again in our next lesson. But Sawfa yaftahu, he will open in the distant future. It comes in the Quran. Kalla saya'lamun, thumma kalla saya'lamun. So this is ألهاكم التكاثر, right? ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف. So you will ستعلمون, you will find out. All of you will find out. You will come to know. Alright? So what benefit did all of this running around and accumulating wealth, what did it benefit? You will come to know on that day. Alright, ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر. Piling up and competing with one another and accumulating has beguiled you, has tricked you. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر, until you reach the graves. And the word is not, zurtum is from the word ziyarah. And one is that you're going to live in the grave. One is you're going to just make ziyarah of the graves. So even the time that you're going to stay in the grave compared to the Day of Judgment is nothing. Zurtum, ziyarah, just go and come. So we stay in the world very little time compared to the grave. But Allah is calling the time in the grave just a ziyarah, just a little bit of time. Compared to the Day of Judgment and then the Akhirah, it is a little time. People have been in the graves for what, thousands of years, but it is still ziyarah. So you will come to know. So seen comes. And then sofa also comes in the Quran. I think it's عما يتساءلون, right? سوف تعلمون
ثم
ثم كلا سيعلمون.
ثم كلا سيعلمون. نعم. كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون. So sofa also comes, okay? Inshallah, I'll give examples of each of these. Okay, there it is. سيقول السفهاء من الناس. Surah Baqarah. سيقول السفهاء. And it's not كلا ستعلمون, it's كلا سوف تعلمون. So the word in at-takathur is you will come to know. Meaning, after all of this is past, in the distant future, you will come to know. And سيقول السفهاء من الناس. The foolish among the people will say. Sufaha means foolish. This is Surah Baqarah, ayah number 142. Okay? But I will go over Sofa and Seen, inshallah, in our next class again a little bit more in detail. But inshallah, we covered all of al-fi'l mudari'. We covered the fi'l mudari' muthbat, meaning positive, and manfi, negative. You put a la in the beginning. And we covered the ma'ruf. Ma'ruf looks like this, yansuru or yaftahu. Okay, yaftahu. So it became from the fataha, you added a ya at the end and you put a dhamma at the end. You put a ya in the beginning and a dhamma at the end, it became yaftahu. So you made mudari'. To make it passive, you put a dhamma on the first letter, which is the alamatul mudari'. And then you put a fatha on the ain kalima. So that's the way to make the passive. So you learned the active today, the passive of fi'l mudari', and you learned nafi of fi'l mudari'. And then if you want to make fi'l mudari' exclusively for future, then you put a sofa or a seen in the beginning of it. Yes, sir.
So those words where we have either a dhamma or a kasra on the ain kalima, if you want to do the
Passive.
you would still put the
You would put a
same
fatha.
way,
You would put a fatha on the ain kalima.
even though normally you would have a kasra or a dhamma.
Dhamma, exactly. Some of them, normally you already have a fatha, like yaftahu. Then you just leave it alone. Okay? The only way you're going to find out that it yuftahu, it's going to have a dhamma on the alamatul mudari'. Alright? So I hope that makes sense. Yes.
So you said adding sa or safa makes it exclusively future.
For
Is there any
future.
way to make it exclusively present? Is there?
No, just for future. If it's going to be present, then you're going to use mudari'. That's it. It's basically, that's what it's used for. And then if you want to exclusively do it for future, then you're going to put seen or sofa in it. If it doesn't have seen or sofa, then it is for present. Okay? Sometimes you're going to use it for future also. But this makes it distinct. We know that this is for future. All right. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Rabbi ighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin. Next week, next Monday, we do not have class. We will have it the week following, so the 30th of December, no class, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th of January we will have class, inshallah.